Hey everybody, here's what I got going. I bought 4 rims for digger so I can mount my off-road tires. I've power washed them, cleaned them up with some mineral spirits, and now I'm getting ready to fix the damages. Like if you look right there, that's damage. A little corrosion there and stuff. Here's some more damage. Got to peel that paint off there and sand that down. The rims around the edge is pretty good. Not much in the way of curb damage. Just a little bit, kind of like that. But nothing big, no chunks or anything. See, here's more damage around these. And I've sanded them. Well, I've sanded 2. See, get it down to where it's nice and smooth like that. And then all this in here I've scuffed all the way around. There's some more sanding. Sanded here. And this one here had the worst in the way of curb damage, but that's not bad. So I got to finish sanding all of them. They're actually pretty clean. And I got to decide what I'm going to do here. I'm not sure. You know, there is a texture to this. So I don't know if I can get it on the video or not. It's been polished. And if I do anything at all to that, it takes that off. So I don't want to do that. But anyway, that's where I'm at. So I got to finish sanding the rest of them. I'm going to paint these insides black. Then I'll clear coat the whole thing. And as I go through each step, well, I'll get back to you. But right now I got to do some more sanding. Well, I've had to make a command decision as to how I'm going to carry on. And I buffed these with the buffer and using turtle wax rubbing compound, and they look pretty good. If I go further, I'll have to strip the clear gloss off, and I don't want to do that. And then I'll lose the fine detail that's in them, so I've got to make a decision. So I made my decision, and I'm going to just paint this black, buff this out, probably paint this a gray in here, and then clear coat the whole thing. Now my next step, I got to come in here and I'll use a little air sander, little round disc air sander, to dress these up. Then I'm going to be using glazing putty, Bondo glazing putty, and I'll be glazing all these areas like that. Then I'll be using this Rust-Oleum sanding, it's a self-etching primer, and prime these areas in here. The next step will be to paint them black. Of course, in between I'll be sanding and this sort of thing. Probably do the primer at least 3 coats. Do at least 3 coats of this. And then after cleaning it with alcohol, I will then use this clear gloss over the whole rim. And that should be good enough. After all, these aren't my Sunday go to meeting rims. They're my get out in the woods and do some off-roading rims. That'd be plenty good enough. I did find that you can clean the inside real good using alcohol. You just brush it on and wipe it off, all that brake dust and grime and stuff comes right off real easy. So alcohol seems to be the product of choice, the solvent of choice for cleaning them up. And I'll be using alcohol in between all the sanding coats and everything to make sure it's good and clean with no grease or anything on it. So I'm going to get to work, going to take care of this and put the glazing putty on these. And that's going to take a long time. Nothing to it, you don't need to watch it. And I'll be back as I get everything done. Okay, put the putty on a little plastic spreader, and you just come in here and wipe it real thin. You don't want a heavy coat. And all those little spots like that, right there, they need to be coated. Otherwise they'll show. Even that up there on the edge, right there. After that dries, about 20 minutes or so, I'll sand it with about a 400 grit paper, and it'll be as smooth as a new baby's bottom. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go on around. I'm going to wet sand this. This is a 500 grit paper, and I'll be using water and just kind of do this thing. And you just wipe off the water. And you can kind of see where it left the red there as you smooth it out. That won't show near as bad now because of that. Alright, well, I got a lot of sanding to do, as you can see, going around. So we're going to get to it. Well, I sanded it with 500 grit paper. I cleaned it with denatured alcohol. I got it all taped up. Now I got to take an X-Acto knife and go around and cut the paper. Takes a long time. Then I'll be ready to paint. Okay, I shot my first coat of primer. It doesn't even cover, but it's not supposed to. You want to do this in stages. The third coat will be the heavier coat. This is self-etching. See, it's almost dry. I wait 3 minutes in between each coat. So that's what you do. Next coat will cover a little better, and the third coat will be perfect. There's the second coat, covering a lot better. Both of these coats have been real light. The next coat will be a medium coat, be a lot heavier. And by self-etching, what it does is it prepares the surface, especially aluminum, for maximum adhesion. So the primer not only smooths out the surface, but it also adheres better, and your paint will adhere to the primer then. The whole idea is so it sticks better, harder to come off, which is what you don't want. You don't want it coming off. Alright, I got one more coat here, and we'll get back. They're all primered, 3 coats of primer, 2 light coats and a medium coat. Does the covering real well. Then I made a little jig. Here it is. And I cut away the tape in the center so that I could paint this center around black as well. And the round part goes on top here to cut around, and then this goes under the bottom so I can tighten it down. I think you can kind of see how that works. And let me screw it off and I'll show you. This set here in the center, like that. The screw goes down through, and then this stick of wood goes in under, and then it pulls, you screw the screw into the stick of wood, and it pulls this down tight so that you can cut around it. Now I'm going to wipe it down with alcohol, get them nice and clean, and then start painting black. Black in here, black all around here. Then I'll pull the tape off and use the clear gloss acrylic enamel. I'm using black automotive paint, acrylic lacquer for the black. So got one done already. Well, not done. I got the first coat on there. And you can see there's two more to do, and this one that's on the bench. So we're going. Get back to you. Now here's my second coat of black. Looking pretty good. One more final coat, and we let that set overnight, and then use the clear gloss acrylic enamel to finish it off. Of course, I'll peel the tape off. I'll do that today after the paint sets up for just a couple of minutes. You don't want to let the tape overnight. It may pull the paint tomorrow. So you have to do it while the paint's still, well, just past tacky. That noise you hear, that's my air filter sucking some of the fumes out of here. Alright, one more coat, and then it's overnight to cure, and we're ready to go. Well, it's time to pull the tape off. It's on, honey. Let it cure overnight, and then we'll wipe them down real good with alcohol. And then clear coat them. Of course, the thing you want to watch when you're doing this is not let the tape get into the wet paint, like I'm going to do right here if I'm not careful. There we go. Well, the paint's still wet. It's still very, 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 very tacky. But this is the right time to peel it off so that it don't peel paint with it. And I'm really happy with this paint. You know, it's not perfect. It's not like spraying it on. And there's a little orange peel, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. I am pleasantly surprised. Usually with, let me take this mask off. Usually with rattle can paint, why, you get a lot of orange peel on something like this. But this is not too bad, it really isn't. Not too tacky at all. I'm starting to get excited. This is my excitement face. Just kidding. Uh-oh.
See what you get for kidding?
And see what I get for joking around? Fortunately, this one was dry enough it didn't bother it. Of course, the key to having this look right is developing a good technique of cutting your tape when you mask it off. And I'll be honest with you, when I started out I didn't have a very good technique, but it don't take you very long to learn there's a right way and a wrong way to cut around your tape to get nice sharp corners and stuff. And no, I'm not going to do another video to show you how to do it. The only thing I can tell you is when you're doing your knife on straight lines, you use the long part. When you go around a corner, you pull your knife back and just use a very little tip to go around the corners. And it comes right off. And it worked a whole lot better than a, what do you call those little ones? X-Acto knife. X-Acto knife I tried and it didn't work well at all. I know some of the guys say, oh, you got to use the X-Acto knife, but I tell you, X-Acto knife did not work at all. But a good sharp razor blade in one of these, and it worked really good. Well, you don't need to hear me yammering away doing this. You've seen me do it. And you see how good the rims are looking. For what they were when I got them, and for what I'm going to use them for, they're going to look really nice. Perfect? No. Unless you take it into a professional and he runs it on a milling machine and mills them down to make them perfect. Well, you're not going to get perfect. You can watch all the videos you want. But the camera does lie. I know it lies. I got some really neat pictures. Landscape shots. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And when I was there taking the picture, I wondered, why am I taking a picture of this? So the camera lies. You know, it can make a fat person look skinny and a skinny person look fat. Alright folks, I'm going to shut her down, finish off, and I'll get back with you tomorrow when I'm putting the clear coat on. Well, that's what it looks like when it's sprayed with acrylic, enamel, gloss, clear. By the way, on a personal note, this last week crossed over 300 subscribers for the first time. I appreciate every one of you who subscribes. I thank you for your support. Please continue to give thumbs up, pass them on, whatever you do to make this possible. I know 300 is not many, but hey, for me, 300 is a benchmark, and I appreciate it. Well, that's what they look like. They're all done. I suppose I got about 20 hours in doing this, something like that. They're not perfect, far from it, but for what I'm going to use them for, why, they'll be plenty good enough. So in the meantime, you keep your wheels turning and your shutter clicking, and I'll catch you on a rebound. Hey, have a great day. Bye now. glazing all these areas like that.